I think they left our band outside. Can you open the door for them? They're gone? Whoa. Well, if someone could find our beautiful band, and in the meantime, I want you all to look at my shirt. Isn't it nice? But as soon as our band gets here and we all get settled, please sit back and enjoy this moment of You Shall Live to Zero. It was created in 2017, and our first debut was February the 7th at Tennessee State University. Give it up for Tennessee State University. It's the HBCU, honey. Historically Black College, University. Give it up for my beautiful band also. Thank you. Yeah. We started You Shall Live to Zero because at the time, our president, Barack Obama at the time, had an initiative about getting to zero by the year 2020. And as we know, when the next administration came in, that kind of went away. And I think this is the perfect opportunity for us to revisit a conversation about getting to zero. And hopefully, through this beautiful musical experience that was created, yes, I did have a lot to do with it by writing it, but these are true people's lives. What happened was we sat down and I interviewed each of these people, and I asked them about their story about HIV. And then we put it into this form that we're about to present. So please sit back, cry, clap your hands, shout, go to church, all that good stuff, because you about to be in for a treat, honey. So, band, if you could just start playing us some music, and we will slowly get into this beautiful experience called You Shall Live to Zero. Thank you all for having us. Thank you, Gilead. Thank you, Paramount. Thank you, Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation. Thank you, HIV Is Not a Crime. And thank you all for coming. We appreciate it.
My uncle was not a gay man. He was a young black man who immigrated to the U.S. from Jamaica. He came to the U.S. to have a better life. He lived a beautiful life. He loved hard, but he died alone because he didn't know how to tell his family that he was living with HIV. And that was a really tough time for us all. I had to do my best to get the education that I needed so that I could share that information with my family and they could have someone they could trust in their corner. And so I did that. I supported my family. I supported my cousins, my aunt. My uncle did not die from HIV alone. He died from the stigma associated with it, the misinformation associated with it. He didn't see himself represented. He was not a gay white man. They said that it was a gay white man's disease. And so he didn't know that he needed to get tested. He didn't know what his risk looked like. Black folks are overwhelmingly, disproportionately affected by HIV. With more than half of the people living with HIV are black women. And so today, I use my voice to support, honor, and uplift conversations with black women about sex, pleasure, joy, health, and wellness overall. And I love to get to do that because we are one. So love black women, support black women, hold black women. We can get to zero.
Try zero, gotta get to zero, need to get to zero. We can make it if we try zero, gotta get to zero, need to get to zero. One more time, help me sing. My pride saved me one day. See, growing up in the South, we live off God, family, and football. Fried chicken and sweet tea. We like to party on the weekends and praise on Sunday. So when I discovered my sexuality, I did everything in my power to turn it off. Live discreetly. You know, don't ask, don't tell. But one day I was given the chance to take an HIV test, and I declare my pride would not allow me to say no thank you. I said yes. See, I felt like I had nothing to hide. But while I waited on those results, I started to think about all the partners I never asked. What do you do when we're not together and I'm not around? And then I thought about how people would react if I was positive and they found out. Because you see, there's a stigma that HIV is a crime and a death sentence, which is part of the reason I had never got tested before in the first place. And while I'm grateful that my results came back negative, we have made powerful steps to zero transmissions with PrEP as prevention and contraceptives for women. So stay safe.
Snap your fingers with me. We've got to get to zero. We gotta get to zero. We gotta get to zero. we try. We can make it if we try. We can make it if we try. We can make it if we try. How y'all doing? My name is Justin, otherwise known as a little blue pill called PrEP. It's a little blue pill that I began taking in 2011. And I remember the feeling that I felt, the feeling of liberation, the feeling of freedom, the feeling of hope that I could have safe S-E-X. And there's so much stigma right now in the world about HIV. But there's also stigma around PrEP use as well. And so as we begin to put the world on notice that HIV is not a crime, let's make sure that we put the world on notice that PrEP or prepping is not a crime as well. Thank you.
You know it's my time, right? Let me go, y'all, yeah. Hey, Lord, yeah. Here I go. I gotta go to church right quick. Anybody ready to go to church with me right now? Here we go. Listen, I said zero. Hey, gotta get
to zero.
Oh, zero. Need to get to zero. I said y'all zero. Hey, gotta get to zero. Hey, oh, zero. Need to get to zero. Hey, we can make it. If we try, better if we try, y'all, yeah. Z-E-R-O, zero. Hey, gotta get to zero. Hey, oh, zero. Need to get to zero. Good God Almighty, y'all. Hey, gotta get to zero. Hey, oh, zero. Need to get to zero. We can't make it. If we try, say it if we try, y'all, yeah. Hey, listen right here. I said zero. Oh, zero. Hey, zero. Come on, y'all, watch this. Zero. We can. If we try. Say it if we try, y'all, yeah. Oh, I am treatment as prevention. And because of it, I've been living, thriving with HIV for over 20 years. It was October 13th, 1997. At the time, I was living in Columbia, Tennessee. She tired right now, y'all. I sung my heart out. Gotta get to zero, Lord. Jesus. It was October 13th, 1997. And again, at the time, I was living in Columbia, Tennessee. I dropped out of college. I was living with my mother and my stepfather. And me and my mom was sitting at the kitchen table, and the kitchen phone rung. A kitchen phone is a phone that you have in the kitchen. It has a long cord. You can't text anyone. You can't take it anywhere. You talk to someone where? In the kitchen. All right, thank you very much. We're there now. So the phone rung, and I got up to pick up the phone, and I said, hello. The person said, may I speak to Timothy? I said, this is Timothy. Who is this? She said, this is the Columbia Health Department. May I speak to Timothy Hampton? I said, this is him. How may I help you? She said, did you try and give blood at an Red Cross blood drive at a particular event? I kind of said proudly, yeah, I did. How can I help you? She said, I'm sorry, but we can't use your blood. It came back HIV positive. It got real silent. And then she said, sir, did you hear me? I said, yeah, I heard you. But what you want me to do about it? She said, I'm going to need you to come to the health department by the end of the day. I said to myself, I'm not going to the Columbia Health Department. Do you know how big Columbia is? If I go down there, they're going to see me down there, and they'll know I got a disease. So I told her, I said, I'm not coming down there. She said, okay. Well, if you're not down here by the end of the day, we're going to send the police out to pick you up. I said, well, girl, I'm on my way. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Not the police. I hung up the phone. I sat down, and my mother saw my body, and she said, boy, who's that on the phone? I said, before I even thought about it, that was the health department. They said I got HIV. She said, what? I said, that was the health department. She said, I heard you, boy. What did they say? I said, they said I have HIV. And she sat there for a second, and she said, well, what do they want you to do about it? I said, they said that if I wasn't down there by the end of the day, they're going to send the police to pick me up. She said, well, let's get the hell up out of here. She got her purse, her key. She said, let's go. I sat at the table, and I did not move. My mother said, what's wrong, boy? Come on. I said, no. Because HIV ends in AIDS. And AIDS ends in death, and I deserve it. And I dropped my head, and I started crying. My mother walked up to me. She lifted my head up, and she said,
you don't have to worry, and don't you be afraid. Joy comes in the morning. Troubles, they won't last always. For there's a friend in Jesus who will wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken, just lift your hands and say, oh, I know that I can make it. I know that I can stand. No matter what may come my way, my life is in your hands. Oh,
I made it because I had my mother. My mother was there. Did you take your medicine? Did you go to the doctor? My mother was there. When I chose cocaine, my mother was there. My mother was there always. And then something happened. It was January the 12th, 2011. What do you mean she dead? She was only 57. What happened? I knew how to live my life with my mother. But living my life without her, it was something else. When I walked away from the service, this voice inside me started to grow. Why do you take that medicine? Give up, boy. Ain't nobody here for you no more. And I did it. I stopped. I didn't want to do it no more. And it took some therapy for me to get back. And it was this one song one day when it got real dark. My friend, the musical producer here, Nate Bean and Michelle was doing a song, and it felt as if I could say those words to my mother.
I've had my share of ups and downs, times when there was no you rescued me. I'm so glad you came and set me free. 'Cause every time I smile, I always think of you and all that you do. 'Cause every time I smile, I always think of you. Love you, Mama. And all that you do. In all you do, always come through. I smile because of you. In all you do, always come through. I smile because of you. In all you do, always come through. Just to know I smile, I belong to you. I smile to know your love. In all you do, for me it's true. Always come through. I smile. and all that you do. 'Cause every time I smile, I always think of you and all that you do. 'Cause my smile is for you.
Y'all are crazy. We are at a moment in time where we can change the world if we try. We stand on our ancestors' shoulders, creating space for people who may not have a safe space. Now is the time. 4 years ago, I said I'd never do this again. 4 years later, I see that we need to get to zero. Zero transphobia, zero racism, zero inequality, and zero HIV stigma. We must use our voice to start the conversation to zero, and it starts now. This is it, y'all. We appreciate you. We thank you. You are amazing. The world today is a place where people say that the odds are against us and we won't last.